Hey, it's me, your girl, Gia. And welcome back to Logistics at a Crossroads. Today, I'm going to break down a few terms in our industry that we use every day. And the reason I'm doing this is because I didn't think about it. I've never thought about explaining the lingo we use until I was chatting at dinner with some of my friends about work. And a couple of their eyes started twitching and they started glitching out. And I was like, what is wrong? What is happening? And Jen said, what language are you speaking in? And I started to laugh. So I figured, why not break it all down for you? Because when we think about shipping, those of us in the industry, we often imagine the packages that arrive at our doorstep. But there's a whole lot more happening behind the scenes. So here are some of the basic terms you might not always hear about, but that are super important to the logistics operations. BOL, Bill of Lading. This is the contract between the shipper and the carrier. It's proof that the goods have been received and are ready for transport. Containerization. Now this is what I deal with every day. The use of large containers to transport goods. It's the backbone of modern shipping. Drayage. This one means short distance transportation of goods. Basically, they're going to drayage a container from the port to either the rail yard or a warehouse and vice versa. It's not as glamorous as long-haul trucking, but drayage is a critical component of moving goods in the early stages. And before I'm going to dive deeper into the logistics, I just want to admit I never fully appreciated how critical containers and bills of ladings are to the process before I was ever in this industry. I didn't think about how it got to the store other than the fact that my dad picked up a container somewhere and brought it back. That's how it worked for me back then. But before we even got to point B, there had to be a point A. And there are things that begin on both sides of the globe when we order from abroad. Customs. Every time a product crosses a border, it is subjected to certain checks. This is where customs brokers and HTS comes in. So, customs broker. Now, these are professionals that handle the paperwork and ensure the goods comply with local laws before entering or leaving the country. HTS, or Harmonized Tariff Schedule. This is a classification system used by governments to determine tariffs on imported goods. And every product gets a unique code. Import-Export Declaration. A legal document declaring what's in the shipment, confirming it complies with import-export regulations. And freight forwarders. Now, these are third-party logistics providers who coordinate the shipment of goods on behalf of importers and exporters. They handle the documentation, shipping, and warehousing arrangements. What about a bill of entry, a BOE? This is used in customs procedures. It lists details about the goods being imported and exported. Kind of serves as a declaration for customs clearance. And when you hear the word customs, it can be a bit intimidating. But without it, you wouldn't have the streamlined import-export processes that make shipping faster and more secure. So just remember, the next time you buy something online from another country, just know that there's a whole system of checks and balances to make sure it gets to you safely and legally. Now let's talk about time management and logistics, particularly two key terms. ETA, which is the estimated time of arrival, and ETD, which is your estimated time of departure. These terms help manage expectations of everything from ports to warehouses. ETA. This is the expected time when goods will arrive at their destination, whether it's a port or a final delivery point. This is critical for inventory planning or scheduling. Estimated time of departure, ETD. On the flip side, the ETD tells us when the goods are expected to leave their point of origin. This is important for coordinating shipments and managing the flow of goods. And TSM, time slot management. Now this is crucial. This is scheduling of specific times for shipments to arrive at or depart from certain points. This is where the streamlining of operations comes in. This is how we avoid congestion and improve efficiency at ports, warehouses, or rail yards. And knowing both ETA and ETD is vital for anyone managing the shipping process. These estimates set the tone for coordination, whether you're waiting for a container at the port or prepping for that last mile delivery. Now we're going to get into air freight documentation. And I'm going to say two words and you're going to go, so here they are. MAWB or HAWB. And that's MAWB, Master Air Waybill. That's for MAWB. This is the main document issued by the airline or freight forwarder for a shipment. HAWB, House Air Waybill. In contrast, the HAWB is issued by a freight forwarder for the specific shipment within a consolidated load. So if you're shipping multiple small shipments together, each will have their own HAWB, but the MAWB covers the whole shipment. And consolidation. The practice of combining multiple smaller shipments from different clients into one large shipment, which reduces shipping costs for all parties involved. So, when you think of a MAWB or you hear it, that's the master contract between the shipper and the airline. While the HAWB represents individual shipments within that larger consignment. And you're going to hear two different terms, but they mean the same thing. LCL, aka LTL, FCL, or FTL. And these are less than container loads, or less than truckload, or FCL, full container load, or FTL, full truckload. So an LCL or LTL is when a shipment doesn't fill a full container. It gets combined with other shipments heading into the same direction or destination. An LCL is great for small businesses or companies that don't have enough freight to fill an entire 20 or 40 foot container. These are where the smaller box trucks come in. And an FCL, on the other hand, is a full container load, full truckload. That means that full 20 is getting filled up, or that full 40 means the goods are going to occupy the entire container. Now, this is often more cost-effective option for those larger shipments as it cuts down on handling costs. And then cargo load planning, CLP. This is a detailed plan or strategy used to arrange the cargo within containers to maximize space and minimize damage during transportation. And whether you choose an LCL or an FCL depends on the size of your shipment. Like I said, LCL, aka LTL, might be a good option for small quantities. If you have bulkier or larger items, you want to go with an FCL or FTL because you're not sharing that container space with others. It's a more direct and efficient method. Now let's talk about the part of logistics process that most people never see. Warehousing and distribution. The goods don't just sit in a warehouse. They get sorted, packed, and moved around through cross-docking and fulfillment centers. Cross-docking. Now, this is when goods are unloaded from one vehicle and directly loaded onto another without being stored. It's one of the ways we speed up distribution. And of course, a fulfillment center. This term is specialized warehouses designed for e-commerce fulfillment, where products are stored, picked, and packed and shipped to customers. Pick and pack. The process where orders are picked from storage and then packed into shipping containers for delivery. And then inventory turnover. A measure of how quickly the goods are sold and replaced over a given period. This metric is kind of crucial for understanding inventory efficiency in warehouses. So just remember, behind every product you purchase online, there's a complex system of fulfillment centers, warehouses, and cross-dockers that help get this into your hands. While the warehouse is where goods are stored, the fulfillment center is where they're packed and shipped. So today, we've broken down some of the most important terms in logistics: ETA, ETD, LCL, LTL, FCL, FTL, MAWB and HAWB, and a few more. Understanding these terms gives you a deeper appreciation for the logistics process and the people who make it happen behind the scenes. Logistics is a complex web of moving parts, and understanding these key terms helps you manage, track, and move goods more efficiently. Whether you're in the industry or just trying to understand how it works when a friend of yours starts talking about their day, just remember, it's all about getting product A to B in the shortest time and safest way possible. Until next time, just keep steady moving forward, and remember, I'll be navigating the crossroads right along with you.